When was the last time you spared some thoughts about growing old? We will grow old one day and eventually die. But the question is, how do you adapt to the many phases of aging in your lives? In crucial respects, everyone ages alone, for it's the self-body alone that changes, the self-faculties alone that decline, and the self-death alone that looms. These personal realities cannot be shared fully by others, but at best, individuals do not age and die by themselves, but with families, friends, and caregivers who stand with them. The rhythm and happiness of old age are shaped greatly by the presence or absence of loved ones, by living or outliving one's longtime spouse or partner, by having one adult children or grandchildren live nearby or far away, by living or being together with them. It's precisely because we must age and die alone that we need the presence of others to help us age purposefully, to remind us that life does not end with us, but carries forward beyond us, and to show us that we are valued for what we have to offer, and even when we can offer little in return. Perhaps no friendship in life is deeper than that between husband and wife. As spouses think together about aging and dying, the meaning of being alone presents itself sharply. What loving spouse would not give his or her life to save a husband or a wife? And yet, what spouse wants to leave his or her beloved to age and die alone? It is a great blessing to live a long life, but also a burden to outlive one's long-life partner and closest friends, and to face death alone without the love and care that they might offer. The weight of loneliness is also felt in the relation between an aging father or mother with his or her adult children. The normal desire not to disturb the children's life with one's neediness coexists with the desire to be needed by them, even in one's days of dependence, and cherished by them, even once youthfulness has passed. In the face of aging, our devotion to others is both most tested and most required. There is sometimes a powerful temptation to believe that elderly person's life are so limited that fellowship with them is no longer significant or necessary. An assumption to regard being with them as little more than sitting awkwardly in a small room in a smelly nursing home. If because they remind us of our own inevitable decline, we shun their company, we isolate them even more. But often, it is precisely because the old and elderly have nothing else that they really want, other than some precious moments of love and fellowship with their loved ones. I shall end here for now. Follow me in the next segment as I continue to share and discuss on other aspects of growing old. Bye for now. Cheers. Hi everyone. Welcome back. As promised, this is the second segment on the subject of growing old. Let's recap the question again. What is aging? To those who are still young and physically able, this is an insignificant question because time is on their side. For the elderly, naturally the response will be different for everyone. And obviously the definition of aging will shift from one period of old age to the next. For some, old age is a time to explore new interests that have been put off year after year in order to meet the demands of full parenting and the responsibilities or full-time job. For others, it is a time to rekindle new passions, to renew the existing bonds of family, to reconnect with friends and acquaintances. For many of us, aging means learning how to let go of things that don't matter anymore. Old habits, toxic relationships, harmful people, old grudges and regrets, egos, and all feelings of hate. In essence, aging means retirement in the true sense, a complete rest from strenuous activities and physical exertions, which means no more fixing cars, climbing mountains, sailing boats, working out in the gyms, late nights in the pubs, or attending concerts. The fundamental ideas of growing old is to recognize and acknowledge our physical limitations, diminishing strength and cognitive abilities. We must now slowly learn how to let go, how to say goodbye, how to ask for forgiveness, how to put our existence and wonderful experiences in the hands of others, how to keep the wonderful memories in minds of our loved ones, and most importantly, how to face the inevitable reality of death. At best, the definition of old age is not a mere distraction to pass the time in this world, or the indefinite period of time to blur the realities of finitude. On a more serious note, aging is a time that forces us to reflect on our lives as a whole. It often involves living in the opposite spectrum of our usual thoughts and insights, like cultivating new interests, new sensibilities, new understanding of the world, while letting go of old loves, old ideas, and the pursuits of wealth and material things. In a nutshell, the idea of being old is to understand that it is the culmination of time that has transformed us into a whole human, and death is the completion of the life cycle. Our lives on earth is not just an arbitrary sequence of events. It is a coherent narrative of living with a beginning, a middle, and a meaningful end. For the weak-spirited, a deepening sense of accepting the finality of death may not be fully comprehended. To each his own. With that note, I will leave you to ponder on the question again. What is aging? Only you can understand your own thoughts and to plan your paths accordingly. Hi again everyone, welcome back. Today I will continue to talk on the subject of growing old, or to be more specific, aging gracefully. Now, aging gracefully is often used as a euphemism for looking old but still holding on, or showing signs of aging but still moving forward with life. Now, in this way, the term feels almost negative. But is that the only interpretation we can attach to this phrase? Perhaps aging gracefully doesn't have to refer specifically to age or appearance, but rather the attitudes people have as they go through various stages of life. I often wonder, when did we go from looking forward to being older when we were kids to thinking that getting older was a death sentence? Too often we heard people say, "I'm old now. I have one foot in the grave already." You may wonder why someone like me is talking about aging. I honestly think I qualify to speak on the topic, as I consider myself old enough now. I remember distinctly myself at the age of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and the number just keeps adding each year. So yes, I can see myself aging. I'm qualified because I have seen aging from the beginning, at birth, all the way to the very end, at death. As we age, our bodies change, our faces change, and our physical abilities slowly diminish with age. These are things we can't stop. Therefore, aging is a matter of acceptance rather than denial. Now, the question is, what does aging gracefully mean anyway? By definition, the word graceful describes movement. Grace means to give beauty, elegance, or charm to. It is the seemingly effortless beauty or charm of movement. My question is, do you know anyone who moves through life's every moment with grace? I don't. Sometimes we have to fight to get what we want. But if we can't, we would want to live with more graceful moments, and preferably with less conflict and fewer fightings. If I have a choice, I would want my time on earth to be filled with grace and kindness. This is how I want to be remembered. So, what is the age in which we start to age gracefully? Is it 40, 50, 60, or 70? I like to think that it is somewhere around 18 where a person can be considered as an adult. As adults, we have to make good and sound decisions in order to shape the rest of our lives. It just can't happen that you live your whole life without regards for the well-being of yourself and others, and then one day at the ripe old age of say 60, decide to live gracefully. You wouldn't know how to do it. You wouldn't know where to start, and by then you wouldn't know how to be graceful. It has to start the moment we took charge of our lives, the moment we make our own decisions, and the moment we begin to see and accept changes within ourselves as we age years after years. So how do we go about aging gracefully? We often hear people telling each other what to do as they age. Things like exercising on a regular basis, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, watch your diets, and get enough sleep, but not too much, and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure we all know this from the beginning, even as kids in our growing years. To those who follow these routines, you may go to the grave well preserved, but you probably bored as hell getting there. And this model only works if aging is 100% about appearance and 0% about living. Personally, I want to mark off my age, to tell my story, and to hold my memories. In the words of Mark Twain, wrinkles should merely indicate where the smiles have been. Aging gracefully is too often based on appearance. That's why we use eye cream, face cream, hand cream, Botox, and all kind of cosmetic procedure in order to stop aging. If we don't care about our appearance, we would all be smearing butter on our faces. It is fine to want to look good and young. It's natural human instinct to defy aging. If we feel young, why not look young? But there are limitations, as many people may go beyond the boundary. I believe the most attractive accessory a person can have is self-confidence. But what else besides looking our best makes us confident? Wealth, success, wisdom, fame, being self-reliant. Now, have you ever considered what is it that makes you confident of yourself? In other words, what would make you age gracefully? Now, I have long pondered upon these questions, and for what it's worth, here are my thoughts. Number one, accept the change and the fact that aging is inevitable. We will all grow old one day, whether we like it or not. Number two, we need to prepare our lives with a sense of humor. There's going to be a lot of weird stuff happening to our bodies as we age, that if we don't laugh about it, we can cry about it instead. Number 3, make sound decision now and forgive ourselves for all the not so sensible decisions we made in the past. Number 4, be authentic as much as you possibly can. Accept and be proud of yourself and how you look. Remember, the most attractive quality one can have is self-confidence. Number 5, do things that make you happy. Be selfish sometimes, as long as you do not harm anyone, because ultimately it's you who create your own happiness. And number 6, have a core purpose. What is your fundamental reason for being? For me, I would like to touch and improve lives, not just for my own, but people that I love and care for. I want to share my experiences and legacies and make people feel good and special for knowing me. And number 7, forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you deny the other person responsibility for hurting or causing you harm. And it doesn't minimize or justify the wrong. It's the intentional and voluntary process by which you undergo a change of feelings and attitude regarding the feud or misunderstanding that you may have. Now, being able to forgive yourself allows us to heal and let go of negative emotions. And lastly, the ultimate goal is to live life to the fullest while we are living, full of joy, laughter, and not knowing to hate. The goal is to love and be loved in return. Thank you for listening. May you all enjoy aging on these days. We should not fear growing older. We are among the lucky ones. Start enjoying your lives today. I'll see you soon. Cheers, everyone.